What's up guys, and thank you for stopping by the channel. Today's project is this commercially used echo trimmer, and the problem is that it shocks you as you use it. This is obviously a strange problem to say the least, so let's see if we can figure out what the problem is and fix it. If I had to buy any brand of trimmer, an Echo would be highly considered. I find them pretty well built and best of all, very easy to use. I have used other brands that are even more powerful and better quality, but they get a little too heavy to use after about an hour or so. However, it only takes a few seconds of using this Echo trimmer to realize that there is a shocking problem with it. The boot literally falls off in your hand if you touch it too much and has to be put back on quite often. There seems to be a problem with the spark plug boot, and it's allowing spark to escape it and hit your hand while you're using it. If we take a closer look, we can see a hole in the boot, which explains why we get shocked so often. We can also see some rust on the connector, so replacing this is probably a good idea. Luckily in this situation we have a parts trimmer, so we'll be replacing the entire coil. We need to start by removing the top cover to the engine. To do this, there is a bolt at the rear of the cover and one at the front of the cover that needs to be removed. We also need to remove two of the kill switch wires from a guide between the cover and the carburetor. All you need to do is lift them out of the groove inside the cover. We can now carefully remove the top engine cover. At this point, we can now see the top of the engine, the ignition coil, and the wire coming from it. The other thing that we can see is a grounding wire that goes to the ignition coil, which we'll remove first. Next, remove two bolts that hold the coil to the engine. When taking off the coil, notice how clean the surface is that contacts the engine to the coil. This is very important as any rust here will interfere with the ignition system, so make sure that these areas are clean. So here is the parts trimmer, and I'm not even sure at this point if the parts are interchangeable, but let's remove the top cover and see if we can get lucky. It looks like the process to remove the top cover is the same as our original trimmer, so more than likely the parts will be interchangeable. I did check beforehand that this ignition coil does work, so there shouldn't be any surprises. And luckily it looks the same as the other one, but we need to get it off the engine and compare the two of them side by side to make absolutely sure. And after comparing the two coils front and back, I can gladly say that they are exactly the same. I'm going to put the broken coil back into the parts trimmer. I would rather keep the parts trimmer in one whole piece versus disassembled in boxes. And in this way I can quickly see if it's a good match for any of the parts in the future. I'm not going to tighten any of the bolts, I'm just going to screw them in just enough so the parts aren't loose while in storage. If you're not going to use a parts trimmer, then I wouldn't worry about this part. And after I get the cover back on the parts trimmer, I'm just going to sort of make it disappear. And then we can work on the one we want to repair. The first thing we need to do is rotate the flywheel until the magnets are facing up. And yes, I know there's rust on them, but I'm not going to bother with it right now. However, if the rust does bother you, just get a wire brush and clean the rust off before going on. Before installing the coil, make sure the two posts and the coil contact surfaces are clean of any dirt or oil. We're also going to need to set the air gap between the coil and the flywheel. Thickness of a business card is what I like to use to help set the air gap between the coil and the flywheel. The only thing we're going to need to do is trim it to fit inside the cover. Luckily, the magnets in the flywheel are going to help hold the coil to it and help set the air gap. Now you can easily install the bolts that hold the coil to the engine. The air gap is very important. If it's too little or too big, the ignition system might not work at all. Make sure that they're fairly tight since there's going to be a lot of vibration and they might come loose. And once the bolts are tight enough, pull the business card out between the flywheel and the coil. A lot of you are probably thinking that I need to replace the spark plug. Yes, it looks really rusty from the outside, but it still works. If there was a starting issue, I would definitely consider replacing it. And don't forget to reconnect the ground wire to the coil, otherwise you won't be able to turn the trimmer off with the kill switch. Before we replace the cover, it's a good idea to try the trimmer out to make sure that everything works. The air filter cover was loosened to get to the kill wires, so I'll tighten it back up before we started. And since we didn't work on the carburetor at all the gas is still in the fuel tank. Press the primer bulb until it fills up with gas. Choke the carburetor and let's try starting it. Well, fortunately it runs, but before we put the trimmer back together again, I want to take a look at the exhaust. Using a trimmer for long periods of time can sometimes lead to clogged spark arrestor screens inside the mufflers. This leads to low power eventually. And since the engine cover is off, let's take this opportunity to remove the spark arrestor screen before it clogs up. It's a bit stuck to the muffler due to the rust, but eventually it does come off. Interestingly enough, the screen is in perfect shape, but I won't be reinstalling it. This part, of course, is optional, but it's a good idea to at least check the screen once a year. Now that the muffler is back together, let's reinstall the top cover. Do make sure that the bolts are tight, however, do not over-tighten them. Next, replace the kill switch wires back into their guide on the cover, and let's try restarting this engine to make sure it still works. Now here's a question for you. If you're going to use a trimmer commercially, which brand would it be? A Steel, a Husqvarna, an Echo, a Red Max, or some other brand? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please feel free to ask any questions, and I hope to see you again in the next video.